Here with my 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and today's tiny project is replacing the fuel injectors on this 5.2 liter V8 engine. The main reason is because my wife got me new ones, and besides the tiny performance gain, I figured it'd make great content because there's not much info on doing this job for this engine. So let's get started. The proper fuel pressure relief procedure starts with removing the gas cap to relieve any built-up pressure inside the tank. Then pop the hood and remove the cover from the power distribution center. We need to remove the fuel pump relay, and the cover should have a diagram with its location, but if not, it's a good thing you're watching this video. Then start the engine, let it stall out, put your fuel pump relay back in, and disconnect the negative battery terminal. This air hat has to come off, and I'm using a 13/16 socket for removal. We need to remove the connectors from the idle air control valve, throttle position sensor, and the map sensor. This bracket on the driver's side will get in our way. It's held in place with 3 fasteners, and you'll need a 13mm socket for removal. Now we need to disconnect the throttle valve cable, accelerator cable, and speed control cable from the throttle body lever by pushing them out of place. I'm not removing this, we're just setting it aside so it's out of the way. And back on the driver's side, we can disconnect the fuel line from the rail by removing this clip. Push the tabs apart and it just pops out of place. You'll need a set of disconnect tools to separate the line from the rail. More specifically, I'm using a 5/16 to get the job done. To remove the connector from each injector, squeeze the tabs inward and pull outward. Then use a 13mm socket to remove the 2 fuel rail bolts on the driver's side and the other 2 on the passenger side. So this is what the fuel rail looks like outside of the Jeep, and each injector is held in place with a clip that slides backward for removal. Then wiggle the injectors out of the rail. Siemens is the company that manufactures the OEM fuel injectors for Chrysler, but it's hard to find anything that's not refurbished. These Bosch injectors will set you back around $300, but they're brand new, direct fit, and come complete with new O-rings. Side by side, you can see the Bosch design has a slim profile, and the OEM injector has a single hole, while the Bosch injectors have a 4-hole nozzle to better atomize the fuel. And I'll leave the part numbers and listed specs for these injectors in the description of this video. I'm using brake parts lubricant that I use for slider pans on the O-rings to make installation a simple task. I highly recommend using that silicone-based lubricant on the O-rings and double check to make sure you have the injectors installed the correct way. And it's not a bad idea to wipe out the ports on the manifold before reinstallation. Now we need to repressurize our fuel system by turning the key from the off position to the accessory position just before start. This is called cycling your key, and I'm going to do this a couple times before starting the Jeep and checking for any leaks.